This week on Question Mark, we talk about the importance of having an email database. We talk about adverts getting in the way of the actual product. And also we talk about the values you need in your business for the next year. Alison asks, how vital is it to build an email database for 2021 in your opinion? Thanks, Alison. Yeah, I'm quite old school in this sense, but also practical when I think about it as well. Having an email database is still a necessity. It would be crazy not to, because you're seeing returns of between 12 and 17%, sometimes upwards of 22% of open rates for emails, when with social, sometimes only 1% or less of your organic audience actually see it. So I think there's no either or. I think it's have as many things under your belt as possible, have as many options as possible, have as much data on your audience as possible. And it means that you can communicate them in it means that you can communicate to them in so many different ways. I think it is vital to build an email database. I would be shocked if someone says that it isn't, but it's not an either or. It's not better than social or better than this or better than that. I think it's just part of what a marketer needs. And then once you have that data, it's up to you to then communicate on it and with it the best that you can. Robert asks, why do so many ads on telly smother the product's potential claims with what the agency calls an idea? Great question, Robert. Okay, so in terms of the idea smothering the product, oh man, I've been in so many meetings where everything has led up to the right answer for the communications. And then you get pitched to by the creative director, and he does or she does their little act where they take you through it, and you're sort of romanced, right? And I think there's a bromance or a gromance, I suppose, if that's a girl thing, between that marketing manager, that marketing director, and the creative director. There's usually some, sort of lust or some sort of big love or inspiration there, and you sort of get carried away. So I've seen it where I've seen the idea, loved it, walked out the room, walked away and thought, oh, I'm not sure about that, but oh my God, I've said yes to it. And it's one of these things that sometimes the agencies can either be so convincing or so bullish that it really, you end up going with an idea that's not the right one. And the best marketers that I've ever seen are the ones that can say no, and they will just really fight for the consumer and fight for the product and the insight to make sure that that comes through. Now, having said that though, I think you're maybe talking about the ads where it feels like the creative director has had that great idea. Maybe they've seen it from a movie, or they've been inspired by something or whatever it is, and it's in a bottom drawer, and it could say Vodafone, Morrison's, HSBC, and it's a logo at the end, but it's just some big kind of statement. That's where it doesn't work. So I think if ads were all just about products, potential claims all of the time, practically, then I think advertising could be potentially quite boring. And I think I would really urge people to have two trains of thought and two levers to pull when they are doing advertising. One is the practical, the products, features, benefits, you appeal, all that stuff. But I think also it's a great thing for marketers to do, and you'll probably hate me for saying this, but to go up the emotional benefit ladder as well. So the ultimate thing, the ultimate motivation or whatever is maybe saving time or being a better father or, whatever it is. And you can tap into that, but it might need explaining. And also, it's not just the ad that's on the TV, maybe you spent all your time and money on that and hooray at last, but no one will remember it long term. There's very, very few ads now that people really covet because everything's so fragmented. What I would say though is from the other point of view, you can make sure that the activation is great. So really having that through the line creative. So make sure that big creative works on absolutely everything. And I've been involved in quite a few ads that were big telly things and just didn't really translate into the now or the here and now. So yeah, so I think you need a double strategy where you need to be doing communication ads that are about benefits and features and you appeal. I think you also need that bigger idea that might be something a little bit more ethereal or something like that. But you must make sure that the execution actually goes across everything that you do, that it becomes a whole campaign rather than just a beautiful piece of cinema that wins an award, which is pointless. Tim asks, what values will make a brand successful in the current climate? Thanks for that, Tim. I think a lot of brands really are going to need to reassess what their brand stands for and their values and also what their positioning is. Now, I don't think you should throw the baby out with the bathwater, to use a cliche, but I definitely think that people need to look at, sense check, and just readjust and recalibrate some of the values that they have and check it against the outside world and what the consumers are wanting as well. As I say, hopefully your values are right. They should be enduring and they should see you through the best of times and the worst of times. And it really is just a checkup in terms of relevancy. However, I would say, don't throw your current values away, and it could be just a tweak or an addition, or maybe it's an initiative that you have that sort of envelops and is all around the values. So maybe something around safety or care or looking after each other or something like that. I think there also is some things in terms of generations as well. So looking at Gen Z, Gen Y, and Gen A coming through as well, you really want to find out what they want in terms of future customers and start to think about, if that's the punchline, you'll write the joke. So understand what they want and how can your organization with its values match that, and that will be a really, really good sort of way to go. A couple of other things as well. I would say values need to be the same on the inside as they are on the outside, and what you see a lot of the time are HR departments spelling out something to do with the company and then retrofitting some kind of values into that. I'm not saying everyone does it, of course. And the brand department are just as bad. They'll have something that's really clever and, very, very, sort of cerebral or something like that. But I think what you need to do is just make sure that you have the same values on the inside and the outside, so that the way that you're talking, speaking, acting in the outside world and the way that you're treating each other, what you celebrate, frown upon, all these things on the inside are completely aligned. It's definitely the right thing to do. Brand, after all, is about alignment, and that's what you want to see. So maybe a little bit of calibration, a bit of a sense check. Obviously, if you need any brand help, give me a shout. But, from that perspective, it's really the way to go, is just keep checking it all the way along, like a skin graft or something like that. Just keep checking that it's taken and it's there. But just also be confident that your values should endure no matter what the weather is.